I've got good news and bad news. Here's the bad news. Most protein bars are packed with sugar and unpronounceable ingredients. The good news? There's a better option. I'm Will, and I created IQ Bar plant protein bars to empower doers like you with clean, delicious, low-sugar brain and body fuel. IQ bars are packed with 12 grams of protein, brain nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane, and zero weird stuff. And right now, you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping. Try our delicious IQ Bar sampler pack with 7 plant protein bars, 4 hydration mixes, and 4 enhanced coffee sticks. Clean ingredients, amazing taste, and you'll love how you feel. Refuel smarter, hydrate harder, caffeinate larger with IQ Bar.
Go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20 to get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping. Again, go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20.
Hello, lovely British English and accent learners. Welcome to this week's show. On this episode, we're going to help Spanish speakers with their RP British accent. 3 phone calls you may need to make as a homeowner, and a little introduction to the past simple versus present perfect. So let's take a listen. Section 1. Spanish speakers, let's talk about H. No, really, let's actually pronounce it. So here's the thing. In Spanish, the letter H is about as useful as a chocolate teapot. It just sits there, silent and decorative, contributing absolutely nothing to the conversation. But in English, and particularly in proper RP British English, the H sound is rather important. Drop it and you'll sound either like you've wandered in from EastEnders or look like you're permanently out of breath. Neither is ideal when you're aiming for that crisp BBC newsreader sound. Now, the H sound is a voiceless glottal fricative. Basically, you're making a little breathy sound by pushing air through your vocal cords without actually vibrating them. Think of it as a gentle sigh of exasperation, which coincidentally is what British people do quite often. Try this. Put your hand in front of your mouth and say, ha ha ha, like you're laughing at a vicar's terrible joke at a garden party. Feel that warm air? That's your ha. No vibration in your throat, just a whisper of air. Now, let's practice with some words, so do say these out loud, really exaggerating that breathy ha at the beginning. So easy starters: hello, happy, house, hat, hot. Now for the tricky bit, words where you might be tempted to skip the H. Horrible. It's not horrible unless you're Oliver Twist. Hospital, hospital, and hotel. Now, some common H-dropping disasters. Here's some phrases that some people drop the H sound of. And they say, I'm hungry, instead of, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. Don't say, how are you? It's, how are you? How are you? How are you? My head hurts, my head hurts. You should be saying, my head hurts, my head hurts. And don't say, happy birthday. We say, happy birthday. I ate him. When you want to say, I hate him, there's rather different meanings between those two. So, here's a brilliant sentence that's absolutely packed with h sounds, and I'd like you to practice it until you're sick of it. So here we go. How happy was Harry the hairy hippopotamus when he heard his hamster had hiccups in his huge house. How happy was Harry the hairy hippopotamus when he heard his hamster had hiccups in his huge house. Yes, it's ridiculous, but it works. Let's do it again. I'll break it into sections so you can copy me. How happy was Harry? The hairy hippopotamus. When he heard his hamster. Had hiccups in his huge house. I'll put the sentence in the show notes so you can practice again. Try these as well. His horses hate hills. Your turn. Hannah's husband has horrible handwriting. Hot honeyed ham helps heal hangry hikers. Okay, some top tips for success. Firstly, feel the breath. Put your hand in front of your mouth. You should feel that warm air when you say If not, you're just saying the vowel that comes after it. 2, don't overdo it. Some Spanish speakers, once they discover the H, sound like they're perpetually out of puff, panting, how, ha, you. No, gentle does it. Number 3, practice with minimal pairs. These are words that differ only by the H sound. So we've got eat, heat, art, heart, air, hair, ill, hill, old, hold. And why not record yourself? Listen back, try again, and see how much you improve. Now, of course, there are exceptions because there are some words that have a silent H. So we've got honest, honour, hour, air, vehicle, shepherd. Let's practice those. Honest, honour, hour, air, vehicle, shepherd. So when H comes after W or R at the start of words, it is often silent in RP. So we've got what, where, when. No H is heard. So for the next week, every time you speak English, pay attention to your H sounds. Exaggerate them at first, it'll feel weird, but practice reading the news headlines out loud. British news is absolutely stuffed with H words. Health Secretary hopes hospitals have help. You get the idea. Good luck.
Imagine you're a business owner relying on a dozen different software programs. Each one is expensive, overly complicated, and worst of all, none of them are connected. It can be incredibly stressful, right? Now, picture Odoo. CRM, accounting, inventory, manufacturing, marketing, HR, and more. Odoo brings all the tools your business needs into one simple platform, and all seamlessly connected. Everything works together, giving you the peace of mind that your business is running smoothly from every angle. Odoo's open source applications are user-friendly and designed to scale with your business, saving you time and money. Say goodbye to juggling multiple platforms and hello to efficient integrated management. Stop wasting resources on complicated systems and make the switch to Odoo today. Visit odoo.com, ODOO.com, and discover how Odoo can simplify and streamline your business operations. Odoo, modern management made simple.
Section 2. 3 phone calls every homeowner dreads, and the English you'll actually hear. So in this section we're tackling a very British skill, phone calls with tradespeople. These calls are never quick, direct or emotionally neutral. They are polite, slightly awkward and full of soft language and packed with vocab learners are rarely taught. So let's listen in on 3 very real phone calls. 1 with a plumber, 2 with a builder about a loft conversion, and 3 with a washing machine repair person. So the same structure each time, explaining the issue, questions from the expert, answers and next steps. And then the bit that often causes panic, phone numbers, addresses and spelling things out. So first we have calling a plumber. So here's the call. You start. Hi there. I was just wondering if you could help. We've got a bit of a leak under the sink. Okay, is it constant or only when the tap's on? It seems to be worse when the tap's running. Right, any sign of water damage? Damp cupboards, dripping? Yes, the cupboard underneath is quite wet. Okay, sounds like it could be the pipe joint or the trap. Right, okay. I could come out tomorrow morning and take a look. Oh, that would be great, thank you. Now it's the giving your details part. So the plumber asks, can I take a contact number? And you say, yes, of course, it's 0794 33 8621. So British speakers tend to say O when they mean 0. And if it's two numbers of the same, they will say double. So in this example, we had 33. And then the plumber might ask, and the address? And you would say, yes, it's 24 Greenway Road. That's GREENWAY in Brighton. Got it. If it helps, we're just off the main road near the co-op. Okay, so numbers are said in groups, not as one long string, generally. 0794. And it's smooth, steady, no rushing. Okay, let's go and hear a call between a builder and yourself about a loft conversion. So here's the call. You start. Hi, I was wondering if you do loft conversions. Yes, what sort of space are you hoping to create? Ideally, a bedroom and maybe a small ensuite shower room. Have you had any plans drawn up yet? Not yet. We're very much at the early stages. Right, I could come round and have a look. Oh, that would be really helpful. Thank you. Okay, so now we're on to the address and the directions part. So the builder asks, whereabouts are you based? And you'll give your address. In this case, we're in Southfields, just off Upper Lane. Okay. And you might give them some helpful directions. If you're coming from the high street, it's the second turning on the left. There's a row of red brick houses. So direction language to notice, just off, second turning, on the left. These sort of phrases are really common. Finally, let's listen to a phone call with someone who's going to hopefully fix a washing machine. So you start again. Hi, I'm calling about a washing machine that's not draining properly. Is it showing any error codes? No, nothing's coming up on the display. How old is the machine? About 5 years. Okay, well, I can come out and diagnose the problem. Perfect, thank you. And now the repair person asks for a name. Can I just confirm the name? Yes, it's Alison, that's Alison. So British spelling style is always calm, neutral and no NATO alphabet unless asked. You can always add, that's A as in apple, but only if needed. So let's go back to some useful phrases to practice. So, can I take a contact number? It's just off the main road. That's 44. I'll spell that for you. If it helps, we're near. So say them slowly but with confidence. So phone calls with tradespeople test your listening skills, your numbers, your spelling, and of course your politeness. Now, if you can manage details calmly and clearly, your English won't just sound British. It'll sound competent, natural and relaxed, which is exactly what these calls require. Section 3. Past simple versus present perfect. Why Brits sound vague on purpose? In this section, we're tackling a grammar topic that has caused confusion frustration, and at least one learner to whisper, "But why?" into their tea. So past simple versus present perfect in British English conversations. On paper, it looks simple. In real life, Brits use it to be polite, indirect, and emotionally cautious, and yes, sometimes deliberately vague. So let's unpack what's really going on. Number 1, the textbook rule, briefly I promise. So you probably already know this bit. Past simple is finish time. I went to London yesterday. Present perfect is experience or relevance now. I've been to London. Now that's fine and accurate. Past simple loves yesterday, last week, last month, last year, ago, in 2019, when I was young, at 3 p.m. And present perfect loves ever, never, already, yet, just, recently, so far, up to now, this week, this month, this year, for, like I've lived here for 5 years, since, I've known her since 2020. Present perfect is I'm not getting specific. So in British English, the present perfect is often used to avoid naming the exact time, because naming the time can feel blunt, intrusive, and unnecessarily direct. So listen to the difference. Question, did you call the plumber? You could say, yes, I've spoken to him. Or, yes, I spoke to him this morning. So the first sounds calm, reassuring, socially smooth. The second sounds oddly precise, slightly defensive, like details are about to follow. Brits often choose the present perfect to say, this is dealt with, let's not dig. Now, past simple is facts, reports, confessions. So we switch to the past simple when the time matters, the story matters, or we're giving a clear report. So, I emailed her at 9. I missed the meeting. He said no. So notice how those feel more final, factual, and emotionally exposed, which is why Brits don't rush into them. The politeness trick that you may have missed. So here's a very British move. Present perfect to soften bad news. I've lost my keys. We've had a bit of a problem. I've forgotten to reply. The focus is on the result, not the moment of failure. So compare, I lost your email yesterday, to, I've lost your email. One feels like an excuse and the other feels like an apology. So why Brits ask questions in the present perfect? So you'll hear questions like, have you eaten? Have you finished? Have you spoken to her? So these aren't about the past, they're really asking, what's the situation now? British English cares less about when and more about where we are emotionally and practically. Let's decode this little exchange. Have you seen James? Yeah, I've spoken to him. So, translation for that, I have relevant information, he exists, don't panic. But if the answer had been, yeah, I spoke to him at lunch, well now, we're in story mode. Details may follow and possibly opinions. So British English doesn't use grammar just to show time. It uses it to manage politeness, emotional distance, and how much information is released. The present perfect says, everything is under control. And the past simple says, here are the facts. Knowing when not to be specific is one of the most British skills you can learn. Section 4. Swearing in British English, punctuation or punch-up. Today we're talking about something learners are deeply curious about and teachers usually avoid eye contact over. swearing in British English, specifically when it's used as verbal punctuation and when it becomes actual aggression. Because in Britain, swearing isn't always anger. Sometimes it's emphasis, bonding, mild despair, or just rhythm. Get this wrong, though, and you don't sound natural, you sound alarming. So let's decode it. Swearing as punctuation, emotion, not attack. This is the most common use and the most misunderstood. Here, the swear word isn't aimed at anyone, it's just adding colour to the sentence. So examples you'll hear all the time is, "It's bloody freezing." That was a bloody nightmare. "I've had a bloody long day." And what it really means, bloody means very. The tone, flat, tired, resigned, and the emotion is life is mildly inconvenient. So the swear word is pretty much unstressed or lightly stressed. It's bloody freezing. Not shouted, not punched, just there. Used correctly, it sounds natural, relatable, and quietly British. Swearing as social bonding. You are now one of us. Among friends, swearing can actually mean affection. Yes, really. "You lucky bastard." "He's a funny bugger." "You absolute legend." So what matters here is intonation, rising, amused, warm, your facial expression, smiling does help here, and your relationship. Do not try this with your boss. The same words, completely different message. Now, when swearing turns aggressive, danger zone. Now for the bit learners accidentally stumble into. Swearing becomes aggressive when it's directed at a person, the stress is sharp and heavy, and the sentence is short and clipped. So, compare, "This is a bit of a bloody mess." "You're a bloody mess." "It's a fucking nightmare." "You're a fucking nightmare." Same swear word, different target, different tone, very different outcome. So stress and intonation is the hidden signal. Aggressive swearing has strong initial stress, falling intonation and no humour. So the golden rule, if you're not sure, don't swear at people, swear at situations instead. It's much safer. And remember, British people swear a lot, but judge how you swear even more. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you found the podcast entertaining and helpful on your accent journey. And if you can, please do leave a 5-star rating and a glowing review. It does seem to help with the algorithm so other people can find the podcast. So I hope you can join me back here next week. Bye for now.